All right, so are you ready to dive into this whole 5 a.m. thing? We're talking the 5 a.m. revolution, Dan Luca's book that's got people kind of obsessed with waking up early.
Yeah, there's definitely a buzz around it.
But is it just hype? Or could it actually be a game changer for productivity and all that? That's what we're going to find out today.
Sounds good.
We're working from a podcast script that's based on Luca's book.
I was like getting right to the heart of it.
Exactly. No fluff.
Awesome.
So first things first, what's the big idea here? Why 5 a.m.? What's so magical about that time?
Well, think about it. The world's still asleep, right? No emails, no phone calls, no distractions. It's like these quiet hours are pure gold.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal.
It's like having a secret weapon.
I like that. A secret weapon for your day.
Exactly.
But honestly, is this realistic for everyone? Some people are night owls. They thrive on late nights.
Right, and that's totally valid. But there's also this whole thing about our natural rhythms, our circadian rhythms.
Our internal clock, right.
Right. Yeah, and for a lot of people, working with that clock, not against it, means being more alert in the morning.
So it's not just about willpower. It's about biology.
Exactly.
It makes a lot more sense.
You could even see benefits for your mood, maybe even your health.
Interesting.
There's research on it.
Okay, so let's say I'm intrigued and I want to give this a shot. How do I actually make it happen? What do I do with those early hours?
Well, that's the cool part. It's all about what works for you.
Okay, so there's no one-size-fits-all plan.
Nope. What are your goals? Do you want to get a head start on work? Or maybe squeeze in some exercise? Or just have some quiet time to meditate?
Or maybe all of the above.
Totally. It's about designing a morning routine that sets you up for success.
All right, love the concept, but let's be real. Changing sleep schedules is tough. Like, I hit snooze like it's an Olympic sport. Any advice on how to actually make this stick?
Yeah, that's where a lot of people get tripped up. The key is to start small. Like, don't go from midnight oil burner to 5 a.m. riser overnight.
That's a good point.
It's got to be gradual.
Like baby steps.
Exactly. Maybe shift your wake-up time by 15 minutes each day, something like that. And be consistent, even on weekends.
So it's about building that habit slowly, tricking your body into it.
Exactly. You got to outsmart those sleep-in urges.
And didn't Luca also talk about finding an accountability partner? Like someone to keep you on track.
Oh, yeah, that can be huge, GE. It's like having a cheerleader in your corner, someone to share your goals with, someone to celebrate those wins with.
That makes sense, because when you're doing something challenging, having that support system can really make the difference.
For sure.
Okay, so we've got the 5 a.m. concept, we've got the personalized routine, we've got the support system. But does it actually translate to getting more done? Or is it just, feeling good about being up early while still procrastinating?
Well, that's the real test, right?
Yeah, because if it's all about the early wake-up call, but I'm still stuck in a rut, what's the point?
Right, so think about it like this. Your brain's fresh in the morning, you haven't gotten sucked into the day's chaos yet, so you can really focus on those important tasks.
Okay, I can see that.
It's prime time for that deep work.
Deep work. I like that phrase. What exactly does that mean?
Well, it's about giving your full attention to something, really immersing yourself in it, without all those distractions that pop up throughout the day.
It sounds kind of idyllic, to be honest. Is this like, writing a novel before breakfast?
It could be. Or maybe it's finally tackling that big project you've been putting off, or just taking time to think strategically about your goals.
It's about using that mental energy wisely.
Exactly, before the day gets in the way.
Interesting. It makes me think about those times I've had a burst of productivity. Maybe it was because I happened to be up earlier than usual that day.
It's totally possible.
Okay, I'm starting to see the connection here. But what about the people who swear they're just not wired to be morning people? Is this whole 5 a.m. thing even realistic for them?
Well, it's definitely a challenge for some people.
Like, is it even worth trying if your body just wants to sleep in?
Well, that's where those gradual adjustments come in, right? Our bodies are actually pretty adaptable, but we got to give them time to adjust.
So maybe you start with a slightly later wake-up call.
Exactly. Maybe 5 a.m. is too ambitious, but could you manage 6.3? Even a small shift can make a difference.
So it's about finding what works for you, not forcing yourself into a mold that doesn't fit.
Exactly. It's about working with your natural tendencies, not fighting against them.
Okay, that's reassuring. But even with all these potential benefits, there's got to be a downside, right? Like, what about our social lives? Are we doomed to become hermits if we're always in bed by 9 p.m.?
Yeah, that's a common concern.
Because who wants to miss out on fun just to be super productive?
Right, and it doesn't have to be an all or nothing thing. It's about finding a balance, being intentional with your time.
Okay, so maybe you just shift your social activities to earlier in the evening.
Exactly, or find ways to connect with friends and family during the day.
It's about making it work for you.
Exactly, finding that sweet spot. About making choices, right? You might not be able to do everything, but you can prioritize what matters most.
Right, it's about quality over quantity.
Exactly.
Okay, but even beyond productivity and getting things done, it seems like this whole 5 a.m. thing is about something deeper.
Oh, absolutely.
Like there's this whole mindset shift that comes with it, right?
For sure.
Like resilience or something.
Yeah, when you start the day with intention, with a plan, it sets the tone for everything else. It's like you're building this mental muscle. The more you practice starting strong, the better you handle whatever comes your way.
So it's not just about checking things off your to-do list. It's about facing the day with confidence.
Exactly. It's about feeling in control.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that can really impact your overall well-being, less stress, more calm, that kind of thing.
So it's a holistic approach, not just a productivity hack.
Exactly. It's about creating a life that works for you.
I love that.
It's a journey, not a destination.
Okay, I'm sold. But let's be honest, even with all the potential benefits, making a change like this can feel really daunting.
Yeah, it's a big shift for a lot of people.
So for someone who's ready to give this 5 a.m. revolution a try, what's one piece of advice you'd give them?
Start small and be patient.
Okay, so don't try to do everything at once.
Exactly. Maybe just shift your wake-up time by 15 minutes or add a short meditation to your morning routine, something like that.
Baby steps, right?
Exactly. And celebrate those small wins.
That's important, recognizing the progress.
It keeps you motivated.
And speaking of motivation, didn't Luca also talk about the power of sharing this journey with others?
Oh yeah, that can make a huge difference.
Like having an accountability partner.
Exactly, or joining a group, or even just telling a friend about your goals.
It's about having that support system, right?
Totally. It's way easier to stay on track when you've got people cheering you on.
Okay, so let's recap what we've learned today.
Okay.
We talked about the potential benefits of waking up at 5 a.m., more productivity, deeper focus, even increased resilience.
We dug into the science behind our circadian rhythms.
And how aligning with those rhythms can really boost our energy and well-being.
We also explored some practical strategies for making this whole thing happen.
Like starting small, being consistent, and finding that support system.
And most importantly, we emphasized the importance of personalizing your morning routine to fit your own goals and values.
Because ultimately, the 5 a.m. revolution is about so much more than just the time on the clock.
It's about designing a life that helps you thrive.
So well said. And now, I want to leave you with this thought-provoking question. What one small change could you make to your morning routine to create more of that focused, intentional time for yourself?
Maybe it's waking up 15 minutes earlier, or adding a quick mindfulness practice, or just dedicating a few minutes to reading something inspiring.
Whatever it is, that small shift can have a ripple effect throughout your day.
It can change everything.
I completely agree. A huge thank you to you for sharing your insights today.
It's been a pleasure.
And to our amazing listeners, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 5 a.m. revolution, we'd love for you to subscribe to our channel, Book Talks Wisdom.
So you can stay tuned for more insightful book decodes.
We've got some great episodes coming up.
We do.
And please feel free to leave a comment below with any books you'd like us to discuss in future episodes.
We love hearing from you.
For those of you who are ready to jump right into the 5 a.m. revolution, you can find a link to purchase the book in the description below.
Happy reading.
Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you in our next deep dive.
Yeah, it's like a domino effect, right? One small change can lead to bigger shifts.
Absolutely. It's all about momentum.
But even beyond productivity, it seems like this whole 5 a.m. thing is about something deeper,
Yeah. For sure.
Like resilience or something like that.
Exactly. Like when you start the day with intention, with a purpose, it kind of sets the tone for how you handle everything else,
It's like facing the day with this, inner strength.
Totally. And that strength can spill over into every area of your life. Okay, that's powerful stuff.
It's like building a mental muscle,
Yeah, I get it.
The more you practice starting strong, the better equipped you are to deal with challenges.
So it's not just about getting things done. It's about facing whatever comes your way with confidence.
Exactly. And that can have a huge impact on your well-being.
Less stress, more calm, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm on board. But let's be real. Even with all the potential benefits, making a change like this can feel, I don't know, kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, it can be a lot to process.
So for someone who's like, okay, I'm ready to give this 5 a.m. thing a try, what's the one piece of advice you'd give them?
That's a good question.
Like, where do they even begin?
Well, I'd say start small and be kind to yourself.
Okay, so don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight.
Exactly. Like maybe just shift your wake-up time by 15 minutes or, add a short meditation or reading session to your morning routine.
Just ease into it.
Exactly. And don't forget to celebrate those small wins.
That's important. Recognizing the progress.
It keeps you going,
Absolutely. And speaking of keeping you going, didn't Luca also talk about the power of like sharing this journey with others?
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
Like having an accountability partner?
Yeah, or joining a group, or even just telling a friend about your goals.
It's like having that support system, right?
Exactly. It makes the whole thing so much easier,
It's like you're not in it alone.
For sure. There's power in community,
Totally. All right, so let's recap what we've learned today. We talked about the potential benefits of waking up at 5 a.m., more productivity, deeper focus, even that increased resilience.
We dug into the science behind our circadian rhythms, those internal clocks that kind of run our bodies.
And how aligning with those rhythms can really boost our energy and well-being.
It's pretty fascinating stuff.
Yeah, it is. We also explored some practical strategies for making this whole thing happen.
Like starting small, being consistent, and finding that support system.
And most importantly, we emphasize the importance of personalizing your morning routine, making it work for you.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to this.
Because at the end of the day, the 5 a.m. revolution is about so much more than just the time on the clock.
It's about creating a life that feels good,
Yeah, I like that.
It's about aligning your actions with your values, your goals, your dreams.
So well said. And now I want to leave you with this thought-provoking question.
Okay, hit me.
What one small change could you make to your morning routine to create more of that focused, intentional time for yourself?
Like, what's one thing you could shift, even slightly, to set yourself up for a better day?
It could be something as simple as waking up 15 minutes earlier, or maybe adding a quick mindfulness practice, or even just like dedicating a few minutes to reading something inspiring.
Yeah, anything that nourishes your soul,
I love that.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, that small shift can have a ripple effect throughout your entire day.
It's like planting a seed.
I completely agree. A huge thank you to you for sharing your incredible insights today. It's been a pleasure exploring the 5 a.m. revolution together.
The pleasure was all mine. It's been a great conversation.
And to our amazing listeners, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 5 a.m. revolution, we'd love for you to subscribe to our channel, Book Talks Wisdom, so you can get notifications for our latest decodes of insightful books just like this one.
We've got some amazing episodes lined up, so stay tuned.
And please feel free to leave a comment below with any books you'd like us to discuss and decode in future episodes. We're always looking for new recommendations.
We love hearing from our listeners, so don't be shy.
For those of you who are ready to dive right into the 5 a.m. revolution, you can find the link to purchase the book in the description below.
Happy reading!
Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you in our next deep dive.